Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of the Hangover trilogy as a whole. I watched this trilogy probably early 2020, the full trilogy. And I think as a set of films, they're just really funny, great characters, funny characters. I kind of like the premise of like they get drunk, they wake up, hungover, and they don't remember what happens the night before, but like crazy shit went down that is unthinkable, and they kind of have to recount their steps. And obviously, it's funny and hilarious, and the characters are great. And I think the first film is probably the best because it's just the concept. The concept mixed, done, executed right. And I love Leslie Chow. Leslie Chow is such an iconic, hilarious character. And the second film, it's not a bad film, but it's one of those sequels that just remake the original. So it's not like it's a good or bad film, but if you're asking that film individually, yes, it's not as good as the original. But I still like the new setting and the idea of like that new character that instead of them looking for that other guy, that fourth guy, they're now looking for the stepson. So, or they're not the stepson, they're the brother to the guy to one of the guys that was getting married to. So it was the brother to the girl that was marrying one of our main characters. I forgot which one. But I mean, there were some good moments there. But again, it was for the most part a rehash of the original. The original was so good that this one's still entertaining. I like kind of like the stuff about like the tattoo, and there was still a lot of cool moments to be had in the second one. But I like the third one too because it's different than the other ones, where it's not that they're it's not like a traditional Hangover film like the first two ones. It's different. It's more of them having to recount their steps of Hangover 1. So it's almost like the nostalgia of the first film kind of revisiting. They go back to Vegas, and they have to, because, something, when one of the characters bought the drugs to knock them out, and, when he bought the drugs, there was some other stuff going on in the first Hangover film that we didn't know about in the first Hangover film. So it's kind of like, almost, so then they kind of revisit it. And I think it was kind of fun because it's not the same film as the original. This Hangover Part 3 really feels like the kind of sequel to Hangover 1. Because, like, Hangover, great film, great, extremely funny film. Then you get Hangover 2, which is in many ways a rehash of the first film. But then you get Hangover 3, which feels like a true sequel to the original, where it still is extremely funny, like the original, but it doesn't just rehash, the original, where you still have them retracing the steps. I love them breaking into the building, and Leslie Chow, and is a great character and all that stuff. And then, I also love, in the first film, as well. I think the first film, I could talk about all that with, like, getting pregnant and all that stuff. It's such a funny, and just getting married and all that stuff. It was, why did I say getting pregnant? Getting married. I was thinking of the third one where the girl was pregnant. No, the first one with them getting married and then going to Mike Tyson's house. I think that just stuff was so funny to me. It was a real funny film. Raunchy, definitely rated R, but it was still a fun time. And I love kind of like that mystery angle, where it's outrageous mystery with like a tiger in their apartment and just again retracing steps. Where it's like, not only is it funny and have funny, hilarious characters, have a baby and all that stuff, but on top of that, there's kind of that mystery element that it's not just funny, no story. There's a story to it, and I think the best comedies are comedies that have jokes but also serve the story, have a story that is almost just as good as some of the jokes itself. And Leslie Chow's great. The other characters are great. I always thought it was funny that like it was the three of them, but then there was there was the fourth guy that literally Doug, I think was the name. But it was so hilarious to me that it was like he always gets so sidelined. Like I get the point is it's these three, but then why do you have a Doug as the character? I get the first film, you're looking for Doug. Second film, I guess I get it. You know, Doug's just not there. He's kind of sitting back there. But then the third film, the most hilarious part that I remember with Doug is like the four of them go to Vegas, then they meet into the villains of our story. You know, our bad guys. And they say the mission, go recount your steps about the drugstore and find those people who kind of messed with us. Oh, and then I'm gonna take Doug as as um as insurance. And I thought that was so funny for me. It's like, how can we have Doug in the story but yet somehow make Doug not part of the story? Oh, why doesn't he just be a hostage? He's literally a damsel in distress in all three films. It's ridiculous. Or at least the first and third. But I literally found it so hilarious. It's like, how can we sign like Doug? And I just thought for me it was so funny when they're like, oh, I'm just gonna keep him hostage. And it's like, you couldn't have picked anyone. You had to pick because I found it funny. How did the villain know that it was those three characters who were the ones looking for Doug? Like, or just looking for someone. Like, how did he know? Because it's like, was it a genuine coincidence? Like, oh, I'm only three of you are gonna go. What are the odds that it's the three main characters? And like, what are the chances that I'm randomly gonna pick one of you to not participate in this mission and to keep as a hostage? No, duh, he's gonna pick the one that literally does nothing in this franchise. So, I mean, it doesn't bug me. I just thought it was funny that it's like, how can we have Doug but not have Doug? Yeah, you hold him hostage. I'm barely talking about the trilogy. I'm just talking about that funny thing. But yeah, the character's great. Comedy's great. Story's kind of cool with like that mystery element to it. So yeah, I really like the Hangover trilogy as a whole. Stay tuned for more videos coming right at you.